it down. Should have waited, tried to refocus his catachans. It is going to pay off for him, I believe. And there he goes. Slug is taking his catachans down. Unfortunately lost for Typhus, but very lucky to get his Lord General out of there as well. Sentinel is about to be repaired, and at the moment the Sentinel's not being used properly. I would say it's kind of just been a bit of a liability. He can't really get involved in the fights since it's not being repaired, but it is getting repaired now. However, this is going to give Zedhu time to get a generator bash off if he upgrades his Death Dread to have flamers, which I don't think he's actually going to do. It would be really effective if he was to get flamers. And we do see a truck coming out, a transport. Actually, that came out ages ago, but it's a transport unit vehicle, sorry, for the Orcs. Very, very quick. I think it's the fastest transport in the game. However, it has the least health. Can be upgraded to have extra armor, I believe, or extra plate and something like that. If the user decides to do so. But we do see las cannon on this heavy weapons team. Guardsmen of this heavy weapons team get a bit too brave and do decide to go forward a bit too much. But the Sentinel could come forward, stomp these shooter boys, force melee with the Lord General. Has been upgraded to have his melter gun, very effective against vehicles, and you can see that it's an AV weapon, as you can see by the little like odd looking lightning bolt there. Doesn't require any time to set up, so it is very, very good. I believe it has full accuracy on the move. That might be incorrect as well. But last cannon shot gonna take down this truck. However, these Imperial Guardsmen need to be careful. Retreat and while getting knocked down. The Sergeant is probably going to get out of there. But no, Slug has decided not to focus fire down. And he is going to get out of there, but the Sentinel is going to go down instead. So, very lucky, again, not to use that Guardsman squad. That probably would have been GG, but unfortunately did lose the Sentinel midway through that. This Guardsman squad, so this heavy weapons team is going to need to retreat out of there. Getting caught on retreat, needs to retreat. One of the things you might have noticed is that, like I said before, he tore his team down before retreating. However, it was a bit too late. Should have done it straight away as soon as he sees the squad coming in, and they probably will go down. As you can see, although these squads these two members did escape, as long as this the guy holding the weapons team himself takes damage, the team will take full damage regardless. Pretty much like the Scouts Sergeant and the Aspiring Champion on the Heretics. Whenever a leader takes damage, that damage is shared out throughout the squad. Unless you're using like Assault Marines, leader always dies first. But these guys might get out of there. No! Huge amounts of damage from those guns. What are they actually called? National guns? I'm thinking of Gears of War now. Ogren squads kind of count as a walker unit for the, or very similar to the walker unit for the Imperial Guards. Not as effective as walker units, say Dreadnoughts or Wraith Lords, as Ogrens aren't that effective. However, if a Wraith Lord was to upgrade to a Dreadnought was to upgrade to a ranged weapon, an Ogren with his Bonehead upgrade could take it down quite easily. Torpid taught me that the hard way, but they are quite low in health and I need to get out of there. So map control highly in Typhus' side, quite a lot of requisition. However, Zedhu is going, I keep calling him Zedhu, is going tier 3, which means he'll have access to tanks and possibly knobs if he decides to go for that. However, his map control is actually atrocious at the moment. It only has 1 point, and his power hasn't been bashed, which means he'll be able to get to tier 2, tier 3 quite easily. The only thing that's basically keeping Zedhu in this game is the fact that he's managed to take out squads from Typhus. If Typhus had kept his squads alive, he'd probably be far ahead. If he had also pushed the power a bit earlier, he'd also be far ahead. Setting up deployable cover. Now, deployable cover is actually a good idea, especially when used against units that can't break it down easily. So heretics and sluggers themselves, they can't when they move on to cover, they can't break it. So it's very good for like locking off certain areas of the map or preventing flanking, especially if it was put here. We do see a bunker going down, which means that the rest of the squads will increase their health regeneration. However, this setup team needs to be careful. It's taking huge amounts of damage. It's going to be able to retreat out of there. We still don't see your Ogren Bonehead upgrades from these on the Ogrens, but that Death Dread is extremely low. I'm not actually too sure if he's used his Stomp or Get Out of Here, whatever it's called, ability. Now, this is a bit unnecessary for Typhus. With that squad, there's no way he's going to be able to get that Walker. He needs to let it go and took unnecessary damage. Actually lost the model there. He has to purchase back again. At that range, there's no point in him chasing, especially with not that amount of health. Now, these guys are taking, as you can see, these guys are taking an increased amount of the damage. Squads in green cover, I believe, take 40%. Is it 40% more? Is it 40% more damage? I'm not even too sure. Let me think. 40% more damage from flame weapons, and squads in yellow cover take 20. Squads in building take full damage. I think 100% or 150% more damage from flamer weapons. So be very careful. Don't stand in cover when up against flamer weapons. Just move away, and just because they have quite short range, just move away and try to kite away, and have your other squads focus fire them down. We do see stormtrooper squads coming out, doing huge amounts of damage. They, I think they do actually do burning kind of damage, or damage over time, as you can see with the flame there. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a little effect. I've been upgraded with their assault kit, which gives them a grenade. It increases range and reduces weapon reload time, which basically means reduces the amount of time they have to basically their burst of fire. So you do see knobs coming out for Zedo tier 3 super unit. These guys are going to have to be very, very careful. Typhus is going for a second Ogren squad. Now, this wouldn't be a bad idea if he had a Bonehead on his Ogrens, or if he had some other form of suppression, but Ogrens counter, they are very, very good and strong melee squad, especially with their Mega Knob, or whatever it's called. I'm not sure what it's called. It's called Mega Knob because I can't remember his name. Especially if they get meaner and greener upgrade as well, which gives them the ability to use Frenzy, which reduces, I think they don't take actually any damage on, or I think that was in retail. In retail, I don't think they took damage. I think they still take suppression, but I think their damage intake is severely reduced. But whoever's watching, probably Torpedo Quebec, might be able to correct me. And I want a Hershey's chocolate because it's my birthday. And now I need a tissue. No! Where are we going? Oh, we're going away. Travelling. Travel off the map. Quite. So right now we have Typhus turtling. I'm just waiting for Zed to make a move. Zed is trying to flank with this Death Dread. It's probably a very good idea actually. Very good maneuver there. If he can attack from different directions. Shooter boys are going to come to the center as well. And his attack. Right. Now, in this situation, most players would panic and retreat. And in fact, that's exactly what Typhus is going to do. In this situation, now, this is a nuke, okay? So, it's pretty obvious this is the nuke. You're able to see how much damage this is a nuke called Rocks and how much damage it does. First of all, it releases a huge rock in the center. Wipe face. Huge rock in the center. So any squads within this center, within this radius, just this little box where I'm putting my mouse, is going to take full and huge amounts of damage, probably, and possibly even wipe them outright. So in this situation, but however, this is the range. This is the maximum range that the nuke can actually go. I mean, it has a little bit of drop off, but that's very inaccurate. So what Typhus should do is just move forward. Just move forward and he'll be fine. But instead he'll retreat, and this is very dangerous because he takes unnecessary losses on his units. Now the reason I can see why he did that, because the sluggers are obviously very, very close. The knobs are very close, and it hasn't really given much time to make a decision, so he panics and retreated. And you'll see, let me just put this on half speed, how much damage this actually does. So he sees the nuke, retreats, rock, huge amounts of damage. Luckily, the majority of the squads was actually here and not here, otherwise that probably would have been a complete wipe. And that actually ends up killing his units. I think that might actually wipe out the Death Dread. Now, a counter attack from it's not a nuke, but a counter ability or global ability from from Typhus to try and get some revenge. It's called the Creeping Barrage, and you'll see what effect this has. Las Cannon takes out the Death Dreads, and the Creeping Barrage just knocks them back, giving this Las Cannon time to retreat and get out of there. Very lucky not to actually lose any squads during that, but huge amounts of attrition caused on him. However, he is floating quite a bit of requisition anyway, so since he has had the majority of the map the most of the game. So yeah, always try to dodge nukes if possible. If it's really difficult, or if you think there's no way you can dodge it, or you think it's just, you haven't got the micro to be able to do it, it's fine to retreat, but try to move into the best position. Don't go into the center. Never retreat in the center, especially if it's put behind you and it's in your retreat path. Never retreat towards the center of the nuke. And you'll notice that he put it behind him, knowing that would be the retreat, that he'd have to retreat for it if he did decide to retreat, rather than putting it forward or completely on top of his army. So Ogren's been purchasing back one of their units, but still no upgrade. Look how much power that Typhus actually has at the moment. Could at least upgrade at least one of these squads to have a bonehead. That's a funny head. That's a funny name. I think of Homer Simpson when I see these guys. I don't know why. It is the lie. Yeah. So green cover. These guys probably won't be able to see from that range. Their range is actually quite small. The knob upgrade actually increases their damage, and also makes them a bit tankier. However, they have a smaller range from these stormtroopers. So right now they're taking a necessary amount of damage. Slugger Boys only got 2 members on their squads, trying to keep this point back. There's no need for them to do that. The Shooter Boys probably could have kept it themselves. Now I'm not even sure what this ability is called. Can be given to the shooters and allows them to do knockback on the squads, on incoming squads. So I have to look about that. But Zedu still hasn't repurchased his mech, and that's actually going to hurt him during this game. So here comes his knobs. Right. So 2 squads, 2 Ogren squads versus 1 knob squad with support from this bunker and these stormtroopers. Who would you expect to win? You just expect the knobs to win if you don't really know how powerful these guys are. But this little red buff around them, this little red glowing sparky light, like they're going Raven or something, represents frenzy, which means I don't believe they'll take any damage whatsoever. No, they take no damage, and you'll see them completely and utterly shred these Ogrens. So you thought the Ogrens were winning? Okay, they did a knockback, but watch. Big Bang Hammers completely going to wipe out this squad, kills them, especially with the Sluggers incoming as well to give support, and that is probably going to be 2 dead Ogren squads. And right now I just believe that Typhus is just in shock. He can't believe that his squads are being wiped out to Ogrens to Knobs, who, mind you, are fully upgraded and are tier 3 squads. I didn't have to even use actually, well, imagine that with user choppers from the war boss. Completely just ridiculous. You do not want to melee Knobs at all. And you can see their hammers upgrades turn them into heavy melee. You can see by the glowing hammer in their decorator. And he is going to take down this bunker. Probably could have just kept it himself, to be honest. Just stayed there and waited and kept it himself, so he could get some health back and buy some more units for his sluggers. That's what I usually try to do. I try to steal it. I damage it, then steal it. So even if it gets stolen back, I can just shoot it down. So right at the moment, it looks pretty like a pretty terrible game, specifically for Typhus. He has 2 squads, however he is floating huge amounts of requisition. Now I think he's probably going to go for a Baneblade, but he surprises me with his purchase. Gets a Layman Rust instead, but however he uses a bit of